Good evening. Sid Thomas here, and I want to speak tonight about politics and sex. Um, the topic arises particularly in connection with homosexuality and the grammar of marriage, which is becoming a global problem. What is it? And the question of marriage equality used by the homosexual community. Uh, Having through its connection with America rights uh, a resonance that gives it uh, uh, almost unchallengeable authority uh, because no one in the media and no one in general wishes to uh, raise criticisms of other people. Like one does politics usually by presenting your view and somebody else presents their view and then people vote between whose view you like. And it's negative to criticize others. But at this point, it's metaphysically important, and I try to speak philosophically and as professionally as I can in presenting this argument uh, based on depth psychology, Freud, Jung, and Reich, and I am not too comfortable using the terms, and I'm retaping it because I use the F word first, and then I read the terms are used and feel as if that the way I used it, even though it was sarcastic, uh, would be frowned on by YouTube. So, and I want to get this point across specifically, rigorously, scientifically, and be discussed by anyone, wherever and whoever. Uh, the point is this. There are no nerve endings reaching the brain, stimulating it with pleasurable sensation, terminating on the anus. The skin is not sexually stimulated. The stimulation that does come will be collateral uh, and through fantasies which go back uh, to potty training, 3 and 4 years of age, no saying, anality, and the yielding of that. And this is not to put down anybody's experience with this, but it's to make a certain point that uh, penetration by the penis of the anus is not pleasurable on the other end if you're on this end of the penis. So that the distinction between that and vaginal sex, which is completed presently as a totality through the stimulation of the brain, presently during the occurrence of its happening, without fantasies, uh, and ideally, as Reich emphasized, uh, crowding out every other mental content, completely engulfing the psyche. So to equate them with love, as done by liberal Maddow leftists, in the New York Times, this comes out, Have Faith in Love by Eric Lax, Beverly Hills, uh, giving credit to Mary Glasspool, the Reverend Mary Glasspool, the priest who's become the first bishop of Los Angeles Episcopal Parish, first female bishop. Do John Stewart here. Bishop Glasspool, been in a committed relationship for 20 years. So that adds the notion of the holy, you see. Marriage is receives the quality of the holy from birth because, as DeMoss uh, brilliantly expounds, phenomenally, the notion of the mysterium tremendum, the holy other, WHOLLY, and then the holy, uh, is resonant from life in the womb of each of us who are born of woman, so that to bring in holy as part of the marriage vow is to bring in what it is that each person who entered into it experienced once as holiness in the marriage, if they were married by a couple who committed themselves to this will be this, uh, which was not closed, but not open, but closed. So that the article in Salon magazine equating open marriages, which would, why would you marry if it was going to be open, unless you needed the benefits uh, or wanted them, and we're using the secular meaning of the religious term uh, to deflate what is in marriage as a concept for people who have lived by it and copulated through that mode of intercourse. And I do think this is all right for YouTube to speak of such things as love in the same sense is a backward S asterisk square predication on different sensations. And that's the point. It is insensitive to married people who married under the grammar of the rules of marriage that it has been created for up until this time. To use the state and the military of the state and Mullen, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and Gates, the Department of Secretary of Defense, to declare unto us that because the Army needs homosexuals in there to fight the war, otherwise they're going to start the draft, we got to repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and it's wrong. They become convinced because of these experiences over the years of the experience with the gay people, which is always, of course, pleasant for each other. And why would you judge anything they do in their own homes? The point is that this article of Salon magazine is that it's an attack on marriage. It's specifically an attack on what it is that people do when they get married, if they get married holy. I don't know whether it's possible to make it any clearer than that, but that's what I want to say. That's what this is as sex politics. It's an attack on marriage. And it won't win. I don't care how lovable and nice Ms. Maddow is, or any of the other beautiful women who profess committed sexual relations, because this is not about them. This is about men and anality. It's been about that since 2000. Of course, earlier than